One word to describe Caitlin Clark.
Amazing.
Yes.
A beast. She is the truth.
It's intense. Caitlin Clark is off that shit now. She let it all slide the first year. They was pushing her and all that. She like, you know what?
I'm in here.
I'm here.
I'm here.
I'm here. And this is what it's going to be this year.
Caitlin Clark finally stood up for herself. No more staying quiet.
There's a difference between hype and true impact. Most rookies enter the league quietly, working to adjust, earn respect, and understand the speed of the game. Caitlin Clark, however, never needed that adjustment period. She arrived with confidence, personality, and a presence that immediately demanded attention. From deep three-pointers that looked effortless to no-look passes that seemed impossible, Caitlin made an instant statement. She didn't wait for the spotlight to find her. She took it for herself. And one NBA legend noticed. Larry Bird rarely speaks publicly, but this season, he made his feelings about Caitlin Clark clear. He sees something special in her, and he isn't afraid to acknowledge it. What Caitlin is doing isn't simply impressive, it's historic. When someone like Larry Bird speaks, especially about a player changing the game before our eyes, people listen. Caitlin Clark hasn't simply entered women's basketball, she has changed its entire landscape. Her presence has turned into must-watch television, earning recognition from NBA legends like Bird, Hall of Fame coaches, and former All-Stars. She isn't merely generating discussion, she has become the center of it, forcing even experienced voices throughout basketball to pay attention. Her influence goes beyond a single moment, it represents a movement. Caitlin isn't just another young star benefiting from early momentum. She's a disruptor, a force of nature, and a cultural phenomenon who changes the atmosphere every time she steps onto the court. With every performance, she challenges expectations and expands what people believe is possible. Some already see her as the future, while others argue she's already the most entertaining player in basketball. Either way, one thing is undeniable. This is far bigger than a hot start. It's history unfolding in real time. Long before the records, triple-doubles, and three-point milestones, Caitlin accomplished something few athletes ever achieve. She made people care. Not only fans and reporters, but also the major personalities who influence the sports conversation. So when Stephen A. Smith, one of basketball media's loudest and most influential voices, starts talking about Caitlin Clark without even being prompted, you know it's worth paying attention to. This wasn't Smith simply answering a question. He brought her up himself, and that says everything.
I totally applaud what Caitlin Clark is doing. She's putting the WNBA first. She's saying, yo, we matter first to me. We should matter first to the ladies.
He's one of the most outspoken figures in sports media, known for being sharp, analytical, and completely unfiltered. Yet instead of simply defending Caitlin Clark, he's openly praising her, not just because of her shooting or scoring ability, but because of what she represents and where her priorities lie. Caitlin isn't simply competing, she's helping push the entire game forward. She steps into press conferences and makes it clear that women's basketball isn't some secondary attraction. It deserves to be treated as the main event. And she delivers that message with confidence, composure, and purpose, making it impossible for people to ignore. Every shot, assist, and statement reinforces the idea that she isn't playing only for personal success. She's trying to raise the profile of the entire league alongside her. NBA media has recognized that impact, and more importantly, the rest of the world is beginning to notice too. And when someone compares you to Magic Johnson, that goes far beyond an ordinary compliment. It signals something much bigger. Magic understands what it takes to become more than a superstar. He didn't simply dominate with his passing or entertain fans with his famous smile. He transformed the way the NBA was viewed, played, and discussed. So when he sees those same qualities in Caitlin Clark, that isn't casual praise. That's respect on a legacy level.
Joy, I love it because, to your point, they dominated in college, and
as you both did.
Yes, and then they brought it over to the WNBA, just like we brought it to the NBA. We changed the NBA, they changed the WNBA.
This is a Hall of Famer doing more than complimenting Caitlin's talent. He's comparing her influence to the kind of impact he and Bird once had on the NBA. That's a statement you don't make casually. Magic recognizes how Caitlin naturally draws attention, how comfortably she handles the spotlight, almost as if it were part of her uniform. More importantly, he sees how she's helping transform a basketball league into a broader movement. Caitlin isn't only making her team better, she's raising the entire women's basketball ecosystem. She's bringing in new fans, attracting more viewers, creating greater financial opportunities, and giving the league the momentum it desperately needs. When Magic Johnson connects what Caitlin is accomplishing today to the transformation basketball experienced during the 1980s, it goes beyond simple praise. It becomes a recognition of history being created right in front of us. And what are you supposed to do when one of basketball's greatest coaches says he would have loved the opportunity to coach you?
You pay attention.
Coach K isn't simply a Hall of Fame coach. He's one of the sport's ultimate blueprints for success. With 5 national championships, 3 Olympic gold medals, and a long list of NBA lottery picks, his resume speaks for itself. He coached legends like LeBron, Kobe, KD, and Curry, and now he watches Caitlin Clark and sees the same kind of rare talent and potential that makes a coach want to build an entire program around a player.
Yeah, well, she's terrific, and it'd be easy to build something on her because she's very young. The best thing she does is pass. She's a magical passer, and she has a great feel for the game. So, I mean, what her coach did, I would have done exactly what she did. Make sure she handles the ball a lot, and she'll make everybody better.
Her scoring ability is impossible to ignore, and those logo threes seem to appear every night. But Coach K focuses on something even more important: her passing and natural feel for the game, especially her ability to control the action without forcing anything. He describes her as a magical passer, and that choice of words is significant. He isn't talking only about assists. He's talking about vision, timing, anticipation, and the instincts that never fully appear in a box score but often decide games. Caitlin doesn't simply make the correct play, she recognizes it before it develops. She isn't just operating the offense, she makes everyone around her better. So when a coach who has worked alongside some of basketball's greatest minds says he would have made the same decision she did, that carries serious weight. Coach K is looking at Caitlin Clark and seeing a leader, a playmaker, and a generational basketball mind all at once. In an era filled with highlight clips, flashy edits, and rehearsed sound bites, the simplest answers can sometimes carry the most meaning. Luka Doncic, an MVP contender, perennial All-NBA star, and one of basketball's toughest players to defend, isn't known for dramatic speeches or talking just for attention. So when someone asked him directly on camera which women's basketball player he liked watching most, his response came instantly. He didn't hesitate or need a moment to consider his answer.
Who's your favorite women's basketball player?
Caitlin Clark.
Really?
Yeah.
That was the entire answer. Nothing more was needed. And honestly, it may be the most Luka response imaginable because the truly great players recognize greatness in others. Luka understands what it means to dominate immediately, enter the league carrying enormous expectations, and still find a way to control the game. When he watches Caitlin Clark, he sees more than raw ability. He sees control, confidence, and the same natural command that defines his own style. He isn't speaking as a WNBA expert or breaking down her statistics. He simply gave the name that came to mind first. That's exactly why the answer carries so much weight. There are countless ways to call someone great, but coming from a player like Luka, whose own success is built around instincts and feel, those few words mean something different. It shows that Caitlin isn't merely famous or popular. She has earned genuine respect from players performing at the highest level. Her game translates, and her confidence isn't limited to college basketball or the WNBA. It catches the attention of athletes who compete against the best every single night. With only a few words, Luka made one thing clear to the basketball world: Caitlin Clark isn't simply creating buzz. The biggest names are already paying attention. And you know an athlete has truly broken through when their name starts appearing alongside icons. Not only from basketball, but from the wider culture. Colin Cowherd doesn't simply throw out random hot takes. He builds narratives and connects sports to the larger world. So when he brings up names like Tiger Woods, LeBron James, and Taylor Swift, he's talking about more than achievement. He's pointing to people who didn't merely dominate their professions but actually changed how the world viewed them. Then, without hesitation, he adds Caitlin Clark to that list.
Angel Reese is a good player. She's not a phenomenon. Tiger was. LeBron was. Taylor Swift is. Caitlin Clark is.
This isn't meant as a criticism of Angel Reese. It's about recognizing just how unusual Caitlin Clark's impact has become. True phenomena are extremely rare. They're the athletes who move television ratings, drive jersey sales, overwhelm ticket sites, and turn an ordinary weeknight matchup into an event everyone suddenly wants to watch. That's exactly what Caitlin is doing, not only for the WNBA, but for women's basketball as a whole. She isn't sitting around waiting for the league to give her a bigger platform. She's creating that platform herself and pulling the entire sport into the spotlight. So when Colin Cowherd places her name alongside legends like Tiger Woods and LeBron James and says she belongs there, he isn't simply discussing what she might become. He's recognizing what she already represents. Caitlin Clark doesn't merely stand underneath the spotlight, she has become the spotlight. But being the face of something comes with enormous pressure. It isn't only about receiving attention, it means every decision, mistake, and move gets examined from every direction. Caitlin plays with an edge and intensity that make her special, but that same fire creates an even larger target when you become the league's biggest attraction, whether officially or unofficially. And as Michael Thompson points out, not all of that pressure comes from the players guarding her. Some of it can come from the systems surrounding her.
That flagrant foul that she committed the other day, I thought it was a hard foul. I didn't think it was a flagrant foul, but I think they do that, Dan, because they overreact to everything Caitlin does. Is they don't want to show like they're showing any favoritism to her. So we got to upgrade it to a flagrant foul, because if we don't, then people say, well, we're protecting her by not upgrading it to a flagrant foul. So I think that's why the referees overreacted in that play.
This is a former NBA champion and the father of a perennial all-star speaking openly about what many people already suspect. Caitlin is constantly under a microscope. The attention she has earned doesn't only highlight her performances, it magnifies every move she makes. And in an effort to avoid looking like they favor her, some critics may actually be pushing things too far in the opposite direction. She's being judged by a different standard, and according to this perspective, that extends beyond media criticism to officiating as well. Still, Caitlin continues to step onto the court and handle the pressure as if it were simply another part of her routine. When an athlete starts changing the culture around a sport, not everyone knows how to react. Caitlin's answer is simple: she keeps playing. There's regular analysis, there's endless commentary, and then there's Jeff Teague. He's direct, raw, and completely unfiltered. He doesn't try to make his opinions sound polished or politically correct, he says what he genuinely believes. So whenever Caitlin Clark becomes the subject, Teague doesn't hide behind media-friendly language or carefully rehearsed responses. He simply speaks his mind and gives his honest take.
Like, if you being real, what do Angel Reese get that Caitlin Clark don't get? Why would she hate her?
If we're being honest, what does Angel Reese actually have to be jealous of when it comes to Caitlin Clark? Why would she even hate her? Jeff Teague isn't trying to create unnecessary drama or manufacture another rivalry. He's simply addressing the obvious tension surrounding two young stars who should be helping build the future of women's basketball, yet are constantly portrayed as enemies in a competition neither of them necessarily asked for. His point goes beyond the two names themselves. He's calling out a double standard and a media narrative that turns almost every story into a confrontation. Meanwhile, Caitlin keeps doing what she's always done: showing up, playing her style of basketball, and receiving criticism simply because she has become so successful at it. Teague isn't attacking Angel. He's questioning why Caitlin's success seems to create so much negativity. Why does her attention, which she has clearly earned, sometimes feel like it has to come at someone else's expense? Why is her success so often answered with resentment rather than appreciation? Caitlin Clark isn't being given anything for free. She's earning every bit of recognition through deep threes, incredible full-court passes, and arenas packed with fans. Jeff understands that, which is why he refuses to soften his opinion or take cheap shots. He simply keeps it honest. Because ultimately, this shouldn't be about choosing sides between players. It should be about recognizing the athletes who genuinely push their sport forward, and Caitlin Clark is clearly doing that. But every rising star eventually reaches a turning point, the moment admiration starts becoming frustration, and the player everyone once celebrated becomes the one everyone wants to defeat. For Caitlin, that transition happened quickly. And as Gilbert Arenas explains it, she didn't simply accept the villain role, she embraced it completely.
Caitlin Clark was a bad guy. She was the one that was with everybody, doing all this, waving, turning her back on everybody. Everybody's like, oh, she's a cocky little...
That kind of response only happens when a player starts disturbing the usual rhythm of the game and making opponents uncomfortable. Caitlin isn't trying to blend in, she's focused on winning. Sometimes that confidence shows up in the form of waving someone off, turning away after hitting a clutch three, or carrying herself with an attitude that gets under people's skin. Gilbert Arenas isn't condemning that behavior, he's pointing out why it matters. When a player can shake things up like that and then back up the confidence night after night, it isn't simply arrogance. And this isn't coming from someone looking for reasons to dislike her. It's coming from someone who once played that exact role. Gilbert understood how to turn confidence into a weapon and how dangerous swagger becomes when it is supported by actual production. He knows exactly what he's seeing in Caitlin. To him, she isn't being disrespectful. She's controlling the tempo, pace, and emotion of the game. She gets inside opponents' heads and can still beat them comfortably on the court. That's why people keep talking about her, because deep down, They know that if she weren't this talented, her words and behavior wouldn't bother them nearly as much. There's ordinary hype, and then there's becoming the main attraction. Caitlin Clark isn't simply increasing viewership, she's becoming the headline act, the player fans want to watch, and the name they mark on their calendars. And when WNBA legend Cynthia Cooper joined Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson for a conversation, the discussion wasn't really about statistics or wins. It was about what fans everywhere genuinely want to see.
You know what I want to see in the WNBA All-Star Game? I want to see Sabrina Ionescu shoot against Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, me too.
I want to see that three-point shooting contest.
Yeah, facts. That's dope. Hopefully it'll be there. It's in Indiana this year, right?
Yep.
This isn't simply another casual basketball discussion. It's a Hall of Famer openly expressing what fans, players, and executives are already thinking. Caitlin Clark isn't merely participating in the WNBA, she's bringing a level of entertainment that reaches far beyond the league itself. People want to see her on the biggest stage, under the brightest lights, not just playing basketball but creating moments. A matchup between Caitlin and Sabrina wouldn't be just another game. It would be an event, the kind of television moment that captures attention and could give the league the rivalry it desperately needs. The fact that fans and analysts are already talking about it this way is part of the Caitlin effect. Once you become the player people specifically tune in to watch, even during an all-star event, you're no longer just a star. Your box office. Larry Bird has never been known for handing out meaningless compliments, which is why his words carry so much weight. This season, he has made it obvious that he's watching Caitlin Clark closely. While critics and opposing players have continued challenging her, Bird recognizes something familiar in the way she responds. She doesn't spend her time complaining, she answers with intensity. He's watched her absorb the criticism, ignore the noise, and continue producing night after night. To Bird, that goes beyond simply being impressive. It feels personal because he understands what it's like to become a target simply because you're great. That's why he respects Clark for standing her ground, embracing the pressure, and refusing to back down.
Caitlin Clark finally stood up for herself. No more staying quiet. Seeing her shut down Angel Reese was just the start. Now it's her turn to go at the other woke players who thought she wouldn't fight back.
Larry Bird's message couldn't have been clearer. He wants to see Caitlin Clark fight back, not through arguments, but through her performance. Bird built his own reputation on toughness, confidence, and never backing away from a challenge, so watching Clark respond in the same spirit clearly resonates with him. This isn't simply about proving her critics wrong, it's about showing everyone that she belongs at this level. With Bird standing behind her, the message to the league is simple: keep challenging Caitlin, because she'll keep responding on the court.